Hello! Thank you for being here with Throat Chakra Day. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and fast forward a few moments while I share this and get everybody going in the live group. Today we're listening to Heartworks again. It's actually a song I wanted to share for the heart chakra, but you know what? It's a great song no matter when you listen to it. It's called Master Plan. Help me share it, everybody. There's still time. There's still time. Everybody get comfortable. Woo. Trying to get my blue to help activate me a little bit more here. Let's see. Alright. Thank you for being here. Help me share. Show that you care. Let other people know. I made a link, master link, so that everybody can check into the previous videos easier in one spot. So make sure you can tag your friends there too if they need to get started, if they can join in this evening. I'm just really grateful that we still got a nice tribe going. Sometimes we have people fall off, but you guys are doing great. Just gotta share this a few more places. Just tagging a few more people, making sure I get this out there where they wanted it to be. You guys are great. Thanks for being in the chat room already. It's been a great day. Whew. While you're waiting, why don't you leave me a comment with something that you've learned so far, either about yourself or about life, something that's happened to you. Leave me a comment with something that has just changed your perspective already this week. We're going to listen to one more song, give everybody a chance. I had a few people tell me they're going to be late tonight, and you know, it's not going to hurt us to listen to some more music on Throat Chakra Day. Here we go. Some of you guys saw me have a dance party this on my Facebook story the other day. It's called Good Morning. My chances are good. Anything is possible. Get better and better. Finish strong, healthy and grateful. Sip and coffee and talk to Creator. Sing a praise for the blessings of the universe. Giving love to my beautiful Mother Earth. Lying up at night and waking up to great birth. It's your birthday, what you want to do first? Sip some wine, satisfy your deep thirst. Read the sun on the rim, what a really worth. Can this body mind merge? You can space the time hurt, but the mold doesn't move another timeline. You guys are awesome. Let me a comment. Tell me something you've already learned this week. Your first homework assignment. Something you've already learned about yourself or just life. Woke up this morning with a really good feeling. Something magical and great's about to happen. This is the day that we'll remember forever. Anything is possible. Get better and better. Feeling good, feeling love, feeling beautiful. Feeling wing on the back of an eagle. Big spirit guiding us to a people. Standing up strong and tall like a tippy pole. Expecting miracles, magical visuals. Passion, a planet, one family, all equals. And I want to
started here. Just another moment. Ooh, I'm loving these comments. Keep them coming. Something you've learned about yourself this week. What goes up always evolves, and evolves involves all your in-laws. All our relatives from minerals from mammoths. We're the planets, some plants didn't plan it, but it's still gonna happen. That's the satisfaction of attraction. It's lost in the cause and affection. Positive reference, powerful reference. Alright, we'll save the rest of the dance party for later. I hope you guys are all excited to be here. This is great. I love that you guys are in the comments. Keep them coming still. Let me know something you've learned about yourself this week. Even if it doesn't involve the Chakra Challenge, just we're here to learn and to build a community together. I want you to be able to communicate with others that are like-minded and also going through this high vibe awakening experience. That's what I'm doing here with Shantastic Shine. That's what we're doing here with Bring Me to Life Network. And you can find more high vibe humans creating free content for you at bringmetolife.com. We also have courses and other things that are great opportunities, like a Patreon, which is access to our exclusive podcast where we talk about some very interesting and fun exploratory things. And that's all just different ways that many of us use our throat chakras. Today we're focusing on this area, and this means your voice, but it also means how you express yourself in the world and how you handle and express the truth. I have a favorite quote that I want to share with you guys, and I think about this a lot when I get nervous about sharing what Spirit has to say, because sometimes I wonder if people are going to think that I'm making something up or it's not really a spiritual message or whatever. But you know what? I've learned it's really important to speak my truth. One of my favorite quotes is, "Speak your truth even if your voice shakes," by Maggie Kuhn. This is a quote that helps me remember to always speak my truth to the best of my ability. So let's talk that for a moment. How do you typically express yourself? How do you share your truth? Are you somebody that can communicate clearly, or are you someone that may avoid communication in difficult discussions? I've personally all about trying to face the difficult discussions in most situations because I prefer my air to be cleared. I've noticed that there's been many conversations, and I can't say that I don't still do it, but sometimes there's conversations that you just aren't ready to have. They make you nervous and they weigh on you, and you just allow them to build bigger and bigger. It could be a call to a family member that deserves an apology, or it could be a call to a service that you've been waiting to book your next appointment for. Because, you know, no one likes going to the doctor or a lawyer or whatever you have to do or book appointments for. But whatever it is, learn to communicate and do what you have to release your truth and to be able to understand others as well. Where I struggle with my truth the most is my family. It's so hard to be truthful with family and friends if they're going through a hard time and you're afraid of what you have to say could hurt them. This started for me when I was a young child and I had these messages. I was talking to Spirit and what I thought then was my imaginary friends, because that's what everybody told me it was. I started telling my messages to family members and it scared them. It made me afraid to then share the messages I was receiving, and what I felt was true to my heart. It even made me scared to be me. I'm good at telling people when they need a message that will light them up. Somebody I'm good friends with, clients, but family I struggle. And I've realized that so many clients struggle too. It's like something inside me just shuts down and I assume that I'm not going to be heard anyway, or I'm not good enough, so why does it matter? How many of you have this feeling? Somebody in your life that you avoid, especially if it's family. Let me know in the comments. You might start asking yourself, why does it matter? Why does it matter? But it does matter. It matters so much to feel heard and seen. How many of you struggle to feel heard and seen? I've come to the conclusion, if I can't get it out through my voice, then I've got to find a way to release it.
I've been talking a lot about honoring your feelings, and that means things that need to be said too, or your throat chakra will get blocked up. I gotta write it down on paper or do something with it, whether it's give it to them or bury it or something, but it has to be expressed. Sometimes I burn things, like I'll burn the notes, and that way I know that it's released to spirit, but I do it safely. But some way it has to be expressed and processed through the universe. You need to acknowledge it. Like yesterday, we talked a lot about grief and how when we push grief to the side, it doesn't ever heal. You have to acknowledge what needs to be said. You can't just push those conversations away, because what if that person's no longer there to have that conversation with? You can't tell them sorry. You can't tell them that you forgive them or that you wish that you could be forgiven. Finding ways to communicate clearly are so important. It affects how we learn and accept information, as well as how we teach information. So, do you know how you learn? Do you know if you're a visual hands-on learner or more of an audio learner? My throat chakra is getting a little tingly just talking about it. I would love to know if you know how you learn, because I try to give videos, I try to give handouts, downloads, all different kinds of opportunities, because I know people learn differently. They take in knowledge, practices, rituals, understandings. Some people are very hands-on. Maybe you can read something and figure it out really easily. I'm someone who likes to see how something's done. I will watch a video on YouTube 2 or 3 times because then I can see it, where if I just read it, it doesn't necessarily comprehend the same way. Because then I can figure it out myself. I can see it. I can make it happen. Written instructions I don't do very well. Like IKEA, that picture is just like, what? But that being said, I understand how I learn, which is why I'm here offering you this video and doing my best to hold space in all other ways as well. So how do you process your information? Figure that out. That's part of your throat chakra and your third eye chakra. It's kind of meeting there in the middle. And on the same sense, how do you take in your truth and communicate? Some people tell me they can't listen to just a podcast because there's not someone right in front of them. I love listening to podcasts and cooking and or driving or doing something else, because I feel like I'm learning and I'm able to take in information. It actually helps me focus better rather than my mind wandering in a different way. But on another sense, how do you take in when somebody has to tell you something? The throat chakra can be blocked by lies, and it can be opened by honoring your truth. But how do you accept truth when someone has to tell you that? Tell you something that might be hurtful or scary to take in? Are you somebody who blows up instantly? Or are you somebody who can communicate and handle sitting there and taking in that understanding, letting it process before you blow up? Maybe you're somebody who doesn't really take truth very well, so you don't mind if somebody sugarcoats things so that you can understand them better. We had a family member, one of our elders, that she was preferred to have things just out of sight, out of mind. What she didn't know didn't hurt her, and she was okay with that because she just wanted no gossip, no drama, no extra negativity in her life. So some people, they just mind their own, but others, they get in other conversations, or they want people to be blunt and bold with them. I try to be blunt with people in a truthful and compassionate way, not necessarily like blunt, bold, and I'm gonna rip it apart. But I found that it's important to find ways to just tell people if something bothers you. Something that Silman and I in our partnership implemented was when we have hard conversations and we need to share truth, it's good to find something that you appreciate as well as something that maybe the other person could improve on. So that's a beautiful way to open lines of communication, is to do the sandwich method. Is, I love this, I really wish we could improve on this, but this is great. So it opens a line of communication, and be willing to accept that back from whoever you're communicating with, whether it's a partner, a friend, a sibling, a parent. And this is a way that you can share your truth in a way that you're open to receiving truth as well. But be willing to receive, don't instantly blow up. I try to tell people that if you need to tell me something and you're afraid I'll blow up, because I'm a fire sign, I'm a fiery personality, give me 30 seconds to process it. Don't instantly expect a response, and I've been trying to fully take that 30 seconds and respond. I had somebody that was once in the military, my military friends that are watching, you can tell me if this thing, they said when you first woke up in the morning, the first 5 minutes of how you communicate, you have to like really train yourself to process that. So I've kind of taken that into my personality too, is when people are hungry or when they're first waking up, give them a second before you expect them to communicate. Let people process what's happening in this physical reality, because it does take a moment to process. And I'm guilty of not giving people time to process. My partner has to tell me that all the time, like, hey, give me a second, I need to process it. You're talking about something really deep really fast and expecting an emotional response really quickly. So we have to learn how to communicate, and that's part of this throat chakra. Maybe you prefer not to pry for information that's not given to you. And that's a good trait to just kind of mind your own. In the same sense, how do you handle secrets? Because most families, communities, groups, they have these secrets or these personal information of some kind, and family secrets can really create a lot of stress or pain on an individual, and it can really build here in the throat chakra, and it can build in the physical too, in forms of physical pains, like throat cancers, throat ulcers, things like that. I know when I was a child, I was scared to share these messages, as I spoke of in the earlier part of this video, because I was worried that what I was going to say was going to hurt people, because I had received message that my mom wasn't going to be here for basically ever, but for very long. And by telling my family that, it scared them, especially after my mom passed away when I was really young, after explaining this message to them. So when I started keeping my messages in, I began to manifest strep throat. I had strep throat 7 or 8 times several years in a row, and every time they would tell me they were going to take my tonsils out, I would get terrified. And I would remember going from not talking, not sharing any of my messages, to just nonstop. I would just express it all, and my dad would be like, Shannon, you have to just stop and breathe. And I'd be like, I can't have the tonsils out, I need to talk. And then it would heal, because I shared my truth. If you lose your voice a lot, ask yourself, what messages are you needing to share? It's a lot of stress to be keeping secrets and keeping things in that need to be expressed in the physical. It's important to process everything clearly and to detach yourself in areas that are hurting you and find ways to have non-hurtful communication. Release yourself of story patterns and family burdens that you no longer want to be a part of. It's a lot of stress to hold all that in. Another thing our throat chakra processes for us a lot of is anger. How do you express when you're upset? Are you somebody who holds a grudge, or do you let things go easily? Because most situations differ for everyone, I get that. But I used to be somebody who would never let things go. I really held on to it, especially with partners, and I had a conversation with a wise old man once who told me that if it wasn't going to matter in 10 years, and if it wasn't worth going to bed upset over, because you don't know if you're going to wake up the next day. That might seem morbid, but if it's not really like life or death changing situations, it's something little, like maybe somebody forgot to do the dishes or something like that. Is that worth going to bed upset over? Or can you have a conversation and heal through that? So I've tried ever since to really mend bridges before lying down for bed each night, if I can help it. Yes, there's still people that maybe I butt heads with, or maybe I never got along with. But I try not to hold grudges anymore, because I would be really sad if I lost a person. And I have been sad when I've lost a person without being able to fulfill that connection and conversation that needs to be had there. But it's also important to have a sense of boundaries. You don't have to explain yourself in your no. Communicate clearly and be firm in speaking your truth. If you want to say no to something, say no. You don't have to handicap your no and express with excuses why you say no. That's part of that firm communication. So some of us are shy and we don't communicate unless spoken to. I know several of my clients are like that. They're not as extroverted, so to say. So believe it or not, this could be me at first in some situations if I'm uncomfortable in a specific crowd or in I do terrible at stores and markets and things like that sometimes, or if I'm new and I feel just like my energy's small. Have you ever felt like your energy just felt small in a room full of people? I think we've all probably been there. So for those of us that feel shy, one of the things I try to do is I build my energy bubble up. A trick I like to use, and it's not really a trick, it's actually very genuine, is when I start to feel self-conscious, I look around for someone in the room and I just start feeling grateful for them or thinking of compliments. What do I like about that person? Wow, that person's necklace is beautiful. I love that person's outfit. That person's laugh is really brightening up the room. And as I begin to think of these beautiful things about people, I start to see their energies light up and it inspires conversation. I know that if that person comes up to me and I don't know what to say, I can just show gratitude for their existence here in the room. Well, I like your necklace today. That's a beautiful outfit. What were you talking about? I'd like to know more. Find an easy way to just try to open that conversation. If you're having a written conversation with people, using that throat chakra as part of writing too. It's important to be able to continue a conversation. Try to end it in a question so that you can learn more about your community. I love asking you guys questions. I would love if you asked me more questions. Do you guys have questions? What's some questions? Leave me some questions, because after this chakra series, I want to do some more videos and answer questions about other spiritual topics for you guys too, or just about my journey. So leave me some questions. All that being said, the throat chakra, again, is connected to that truth, communication, and blocked by lies. Not just lies you tell others, but also lies you might tell yourself. Something like, oh, I'm happy in this job, or oh, I'm not good enough. Those are different kind of lies we tell ourselves, or I'm okay if you're really not okay and you need to process. The throat chakra is also surprisingly connected to our outer appearance as well, such as how we express ourselves with our clothing, our accessories, our body language. Not only do we speak with our voice and listen with our ears, but we express ourselves with our body and how we move and how we pay attention to other people. I know I've personally shifted my outer appearance quite frequently from my gothic, darker, punk, teenage, angsty years to my businessy early 20s to now I'm very rainbow hippie, fairy gypsy-esque. I don't know, I feel my most me now. It's taken me 28 years to get to the point of just feeling myself and trying to embrace not caring what people think. Sometimes my hair is bright blue, and let me tell you, the first time I did that, I was terrified because in my small town, that's not common, and I felt like all the old men were about to run me over with their glares and judgment. Nobody wanted to take me seriously in business until I broke the stigma and realized and taught them that I wasn't just some punk kid wearing my patchwork clothes and my rainbow hair. I'm very driven and motivated, and it shouldn't matter what my hair looks like if it makes me feel good and happy. My family would have never let me have rainbow hair growing up. They also didn't like that I wore mostly black, and I found out now as an energy healer that black is a good color because it allows us to shield our energy and take in our own frequencies. I've also just come to the conclusion that no matter what I do, I'm not going to please everyone. So it's important to really focus on just being the best version of you and living the best life you can, and leaving a legacy for others by sharing your voice, sharing your story, sharing your experience. Many of you have brought up your families this week, and I know that by far is the hardest area for so many of us because we are not able to choose, at least in our waking life, who our family is. But remember that we've made a choice to channel in, to have this experience and to understand them, to break just the storyline, to break the generational curses and patterns and dramas, control dramas. That's the term I was looking for, to break the control dramas of our life that just repeat. We've been put in a family, even a soul family, a community with certain people to be able to understand them and communicate with them. Why we can't get along with families sometimes is because we can't control them. They're going to think and do however they please, but what we can do is inspire them. And we can inspire them and others by just being the best us that we can be. Being the best us that we can be. Have you guys been activating the best version of yourself? Do you feel like you've been able to release a lot of blocks so far this week? How are you guys feeling? I more than anything wish that I was able to physically speak to a lot of my family and have them say they were proud of me. And even me, as motivated and determined and driven as I am, I still have people that I wish would support me that don't outwardly say it. That's okay. That's sometimes the cold hard truth, is they're not going to say it here in the physical. But you can inspire them by telling others what you love about them. Let's start the trend of telling other people what we love about them. When they're there to listen, when they've been there to show up, if they've gotten you a meal and you never forgot about it, or they made you something or did something for someone else that really stuck out for you, show people that you remember those little things, that you're proud of them, that you're proud to know them and to be a part of them and to witness them. Communicate that. Communicate that. So some ways to heal your throat chakra is communicating how you really feel by talking to a safe, supportive person. That's what I'm here for. That's what this community is here for. I offer one-on-one sessions that include just hearing about you and your story. I can listen as well as I can communicate messages from spirit if you just need somebody to listen for a moment. The cool thing is I'm not going to diagnose you. I'm not a therapist. Instead, I'm going to sit with you and we're going to discuss whatever it is that you need to process through, and I hold space to hear what it is that's bothering you instead of giving you a medicine that's going to distract you from the situation. Now, I'm not saying to not go to your medical person. You need to go and make sure that you're doing that as well. But on a holistic standpoint, if you need somebody on a spiritual level, hit me up. That's what this community is for too. I want you to think about where you would like to be instead of focusing on just the trauma that you're healing as well. I want you to set goals and manifest your destiny. So other ways to activate the throat chakra too are speaking to your friends, your communities, and sharing your story. So not only speaking with somebody one-on-one, but sharing and teaching others. I've gotten so much healing from teaching and sharing with others. I have people tell me all the time too, like, oh, I went and taught somebody something this week and it made it even more clear in my mind. I never understood how good it felt to teach somebody else. I love when other people teach other people. I love to learn, so I love when other people are willing to teach things. Another major way to open your throat chakra is singing. How many of you like to sing? I would love to hear that in the comments too. What do you like to sing? How many of you like to sing, and what do you like to sing? I will try to share a few of my favorite songs in the comments when I'm done. But I know a simple song that we can all sing. I'm going to put myself out there for a second. It always makes me nervous when I get to the throat chakra because I feel like I have to set an example. I want you guys to sing with me. I have a favorite song and I bet you guys can guess what it is. It's a song that's inspired me since I was really little. So right here, right now, you guys can join me. Again, I don't typically sing on camera, so don't mind my voice here. but I'm going to sing it twice so that you guys can join in. Let's go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All right, I'm hoping you guys join me. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I always get a really tingly sensation right here between my heart chakra and my throat chakra. Obviously, I'm not the best singer in the world, but I don't care because it makes me feel good. How many of you joined me? I want to know. Let me know if you joined me, and if you didn't, you're missing out. Because it's one of my favorite things to do, to blast music in the car and just literally let it loose. Sometimes I have to give you a little warning and reminder that if I was the one driving, you might need to turn the volume down because that is my place to get down. No, yes, I pay attention. I usually do it on the back road on the way home, and I just love listening to music. I really hope that you use your voice in some way. I think it's so important for us to find people to talk to, people to communicate with, people to sing with. So that's a lot of information, and now that I have opened my throat chakra, and it looks like many of you have joined me, so thank you. Another one of my favorites is You Are My Sunshine. I love it. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. Fun fact, when it's rainy outside, I suggest to people to close their eyes, visualize the sun, and sing that song 3 times. And get a group of people to sing it with you. A lot of people start singing Rain, Rain, Go Away, and instead it brings the rain because that law of attraction hears the word rain. But instead, if you remind the sun that you are grateful for it, it'll come out. So use your throat chakra to make that magic and call in what you want in your life. All right, guys, I hope you have your journals ready. It is time for your journal topics. Whew. I'm just feeling all warm and fuzzy. It's been such a great week already. I hope you got your journals out. Now I just want to sing everything. All right, so step 1, what are some things that you think or feel but have never expressed to anyone? Step 1, some things you think or feel but maybe have never expressed to anyone. You need to express those feelings, at least into your journal. This is your safe journal. Express yourself. Step 2, what would you say to someone if you were not afraid of what anyone thinks? Maybe you could even write them a letter. But what would you say to someone, or anyone, multiple people, you can write this out, use these tools, if you were not afraid of what they think? Maybe you need to tell somebody how much you love them. Maybe you need to tell somebody how much they hurt you at this one time, but you forgive them. There's all kinds of things you could be writing about. Now I put those journals in the description, and I'm going to get our music out for the meditation. I hope that you guys are ready to meditate with me. I'm just seeing all the comments flow in. Feel free to send me a comment before you get comfortable to meditate. I'm going to do a little dance party again at the end of this video and read through some of the comments that pop up. Sometimes my comments don't show until after I'm done being live, so I'm sorry if I don't get to read your comment. I do read every one that comes through, so please send them. They make my heart so happy just to know that you're here with me in this space, healing. And hopefully you're comfy, because we're going to meditate now. I want you to get nice and cozy. Somewhere you can open this throat chakra up. Take some nice deep breaths, really feeling it in that throat chakra. You can breathe through your mouth if you wish. Make a little noise. Don't be afraid to express yourself. Open up that chest and breathe. Be proud of who you are. We're going to open up your communication. Nice deep breaths as you get a little more comfy with each exhale. Breathing in real deep and holding it at the top. Exhale, making just a little noise. Don't be afraid. These are some tribal instincts to just activate that throat space. Feeling it with a nice deep breath. I want you to think about a time that you really used your voice, that you felt empowered and heard. How did it feel to be heard, to be seen? Now, think about a time or someone now that you need to express something to. Who do you need to express something to? Or someone now that you need to express something to. As you begin to receive the messages that Spirit wants you to channel to others, really feel your throat chakra space begin to open. Think about a time someone shared something with you and it changed your life. Maybe it was a compliment. Maybe they expressed some gratitude. Maybe they were just willing to tell you the truth about something that you needed to improve on when nobody else would. Now we're going to really open this chakra here, this power center. Take a little gulp, take in a lot of nice breath, and we're going to go, oh. And as you on your own breath, you're going to really feel it here in your throat and your heart. Om. Feeling that space open so that you can speak clearly from your heart. We're going to do 3 more ohms together. Om. Om. Now feeling that space open, that space, that channel, the direct line from your heart chakra to your throat chakra. Anytime you're feeling that you need to clearly communicate, I want you to take a moment, and if you can't verbally ohm, mentally ohm. Give yourself a second to just channel what spirit needs you to hear. Take a breath and ask yourself, what is the best way for me to respond? Not what your ego wants you to respond, but what does your heart want you to respond? How does it want you to communicate? What does it want you to say? Who does it want you to say it to? Those are all a part of this heart chakra and throat chakra connection, channeled to you through the third eye and crown. By opening this line of communication, it helps ground you deeper and feeds your confidence in those lower chakra centers and brings you closer to those you love in the solar plexus. So as you think about that time that you felt most empowered when you used your voice, I want you to remember that feeling so that you can take it with you. Now taking another nice deep breath, I want you to become more present in your body here with me. Right here, right now. You can wiggle your fingers and your toes and begin to come back. Ooh. All right. So how did that make you guys feel? How many of you actually ohmed with me? Did you guys use your throat chakra? I know I got some of you to sing with me earlier, but how many of you actually ohmed? I want to know. Let me know in the comments. I did it. I didn't used to like to ohm either. I started getting into it more with my Michigan family. They started doing it as a community. And let me tell you, it is a powerful experience when you get multiple people ohming together. Or chanting, or saying prayer, or singing, any of it. It's so powerful when we use our voices together. So, I have a bonus point for you guys. I want you to share a video of you using your voice, whether it is just sharing something you've learned about yourself through this challenge, or it's singing your favorite song, just a quick little clip. Again, you can read a poem if you're a writer or something you've written, but I would love to hear your voices, and if you don't want to do that, that's okay. That's totally fine. Instead, share your favorite song with us, something that you enjoy singing on your own. I would love to know about a time that you really felt that you used your voice. All things that you can leave me in the comments. Remember that I want you guys to communicate with each other. I want you guys to find friends and build a community. And beyond this chakra challenge, this is my group where I go live and I share content for free with you guys as much as I can. It's also where I share my jewelry and memes and little inspirational quotes that I think are funny. So I want this group to be hopping with community. I've had a few of you shared some of your favorite books. I just finished a Mary Magdalene book. I'm getting ready to start a new book, so I love to hear about books you guys are reading. I think that's part of the throat chakra too. It's communicating about stuff you've learned. So that being said, thank you for being here as always. I hope you're feeling inspired to share your voice because I'm excited to hear you if you choose to share it. Congrats for showing up on day 5 because you're more than halfway and you're killing it. So shine time. If you guys are feeling really driven, really excited, and like you want to know more about chakras or how I work with them, because in these videos I'm sharing why it's important, what they're connected to, and I'll give you some tips on how I work with them. But in the 8-week course, if you think I'm giving you a lot of info now, imagine what I could do and how I could transform your life in 8 weeks with my chakra masterclass, where I give you guys the tools, including oils, crystals, and my handbook with inspirational journals outside of these journals, and more meditations to help you wake up and shine on with me. So that's the 8-week course. It starts at the end of this month. I'm going to be doing a video with more details on that. You can also find details on my website or send me a message. And I hope if you're interested, we can find a way to make it happen for you, because you've showed up now. You've proven that this is a part of your journey. If you've made it here, you've listened to me this far, then you are ready to activate your voice. Drop it in the comments so I know you made it to the end. Activate your voice. You can say activate my voice or something along those lines. I'll know that you made it. I'm not as on top with my slogan for the day. Throat chakra on glitch. So I do also share podcasts as part of my throat chakra experience here in the physical world. And you can find my podcast where I talk about all kinds of inspirational content on bringmetolife.com. And that's with the number 2. I have Shine On with Shannon, Bring Me to Life podcast, and Awakening with the Girls. I'm always looking to interview more people that have a story to share. So now I'm going to have a little dance party while I check out the comments from you guys and let y'all catch up. So I'm feeling grateful. So many of you participated in the singing and the oming. Oh, this is great. Let's see. Someone said, I believe no matter how hard the subject, I must talk to the person. I review thoughts, feelings, and how I think the best sentence will get the point across without hurting them or making it worse. There are some subjects with certain people and family members that I just had to make peace with it, and I just go on and start a better relationship with them. I've been there. I've had to do that. You're not going to have the same point of view as everybody. Find a way to share your truth, understand others have their own perspective, and just live on. But don't hold it in. Don't hold grudges. It's not needed. Let's see, what else is in here? Grateful. I've learned that it's okay to step back and do things for me and me alone, but it's okay to include others in my bubble. That's a good one. You guys are great. Thank you for being here. Someone said, I would love to hear some tips from you on great ways to communicate better with your partner. I like your tip you mentioned at the beginning about processing what the other person says for responding. Yes, it's important. I have to take a second and breathe. Sometimes I expect CeeLo to respond right away. I actually just shared a podcast. It's called Soul Buddies. It describes how I not only manifested CeeLo into my life, but you get a great view on the dynamic we have in our relationship and how we communicate with each other. There's a podcast, I believe, before and after that in the Bring Me to Life podcast, around episode 142, where we discuss a lot of different ways to communicate with your community, your partner, your family, your friends. Check out the Bring Me to Life podcast. I will drop you guys a link in the comments. I think that you would love it. Alright, we're getting to the end here, guys. Please leave me comments. Please continue to share. Please show that you care. I hope you stay awake and shine on always. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the third eye chakra. Bye!